You're muted, girl.
How? I suppose to, you know what? All part of the game, right? Good night, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Hear This Now. So, tonight's episode, we will be dealing with the male and female dynamics. And we'll start it off with relationships, right? We like a relationship talk on this panel. I don't know why, but anyhow. So, according to the Hindustan Times, in a relationship survey conducted by Shahidi.com, about 90% of men said they will make the first move in a relationship. Surprisingly, only 19% of women said yes, and 10.5% said maybe to the question. As much as 70% said they wouldn't make the first move. So, panelists, tell me, do you think that men should make the first move in relationships?
Absolutely, positively, yes, I do. I'm going to leave it like that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you're not going to tell us why.
Listen, listen, I'm like a rose. You have to like peel me open. I'm a delicate rose, darling. You have to
Yeah,
peel the
those
answers
those
out
say
of me.
rose and peel tonight, no? Because those say rose and peel at all.
Okay, all right. So my answer to that would be, um, I don't think he necessarily has to make the first move, but he should make a move at least. You don't want to be the first, but make a move. That's my answer.
There's a tricky one because there's so much different directions we could take that question, to be honest. I think we could do a whole show on that question alone, to be honest. But for me, the answer is yes. I do think men should make the first move. And I think it's beneficial both for a man to make the first move from a male perspective, to set the tone for the relationship and to establish himself as somebody who has the capability to have a vision for his life and for the relationship and clarity in purpose and things like that. Very important for a man to have as the potential leader of a family and you know the leader in a relationship situation, which I suppose is probably a question we will get to later on in the show. And then from the female perspective, it's also important for eliminating the woman from having to do something that will make her feel, for most women, uncomfortable. Because I do think, and I don't want to speak for all women, but I don't think much women feel particularly great about doing something that might make them feel like they're chasing, you know. So I see a lot of advantages to a man having to take the opportunity. I see it as an opportunity to make the first move.
Yeah, I was going to say what Emerson was going to say. Well, for the most part, so basically, it's yes.
Yeah, well, I have no issue with women making the first move. I mean, I will not make the first move to say that I like you, but I mean, more power to these women because women coming out these days and they're saying, well, you know, they want to propose and all these different things, and they seem to be comfortable with it. So I mean, men can make the first move, women can make the first move. It doesn't really matter to me. For me personally, the man should make the first move.
All right, so let me ask the real butt-up question now. Do women think it's masculine when men make the first move? What do you think about that one?
Okay, so initially, when a man makes the first move, like approaches first or whatever, it shows um, it shows that he's not afraid to go after what he wants, right? And that shows confidence. That shows that all right, he's sure of himself, type of thing initially, right? However, I have also had experiences where sometimes the man just was feeling brave that day, and that really wasn't his personality. Like he wasn't naturally confident. He wasn't naturally masculine. He had like some liquid courage, or his boys revved him up, and he came. And well, yeah, so I think it's 50-50, or at least you don't see a way around it. Initially, yes, it shows masculinity, confidence, etc., but not all the time.
Um, him making the first move, of course, make me feel a little good. It's like, he after meeting, looking, yeah, man, this one he has something, but it doesn't necessarily let me know that he is masculine. Like Krista was saying, that could just be at the point in time you just did that. Is what you do after the initial coming to make the first move that will let me know if you are masculine or not.
I, for the most part, I agree with what Ollie just say. That point of views they just share, especially what Sean just say. Yes, making the first move is certainly a step in the right direction. From my experience with women, and from talking to other men about their experiences with women, making the first move is definitely a step in the right direction in terms of proving yourself to be, well, having masculine traits. But it's certainly not. Uh, it's certainly not the end of the equation. There's much more you could do before you could fill the rest of that picture out. But we're talking here in terms of first impressions. So all the other things that you're gonna do will come after that. So we're talking about what was the impression a man gonna get if a man makes the first move versus if he doesn't. And I definitely think that um, if you compare one with the other, make any first move will certainly make you appear more masculine than not make any first move. Because a man who wouldn't make the first move, it may imply that, especially if your man knows you're interested. If a woman knows you're interested and you're not making any first move, usually that's a sign that you're lacking confidence, that you're scared. Um, that is also a sign that you do have other options because this particular experience so important to you that you're scared to screw it up. But a man who has confidence, and a man who has confidence in himself in particular, a man who is seen as pre-selected by other women, wouldn't be that scared about the opportunity passing him by with this one particular girl, because he'll feel comfortable that if this doesn't work out, there'll be other opportunities. And if you have that mentality, you wouldn't be scared to approach one person just for a casual conversation. You know what I mean? So not all, maybe not every woman will see that situation and analyze it in the way I just described it, but I think is probably a thought process that built into women that will observe these things and intrinsically understand these situations and see it as a lack of confidence in a man who refuses to approach. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you take all my answers. So I feel like I shouldn't be repetitive and say everything that you all said. And so, on that note, I'm just going to go on to my question, unless Aaron wanted to say something. Right. And my question is, what are the possible outcomes if a woman initiates a relationship? So it's not just making the first move, because making the first move does not guarantee a relationship, right? But what is the possible outcomes of a woman initiating an actual relationship with this person?
One possible outcome, and it actually depends on both the guy and the girl, um, is that she becomes the leader in the relationship. So she takes on everything in the relationship, whether like she initiates talking, she initiates date night, she initiates this. And I say this because I've witnessed it, but I've also seen people who claims to. That women who claim say they made the first move, but then they submit to their men. So I think it depends on both the male and the female. So if the female is more, I don't want to say dominant, I don't want to say use that, but if she's more of like a go getter, let's get this thing done type of person, and then she initiates, don't know why, but initiates a relationship with a man who doesn't really have direction, is unsure of himself, unsure of what he wants, and he's just like, all right, I'm going with the flow, she might be the one to take control of basically everything. Like I don't want to say set standards, but like leading. She might be the leader in the relationship, right? As opposed to if she initiated a relationship with someone who isn't I don't want to say submissive again, who isn't, let's say this, if he's a leader, go getter type of guy, and she initiates and she shows, hey, I like you, I would like to be in a relationship with you, with that type of person, I think that she's more likely to be the submissive one in that relationship than if she were to be in a relationship with the other guy who has no direction, etc.
And that would have been the outcome that I was going to say that Krista says. So yeah.
All right. I don't know how I following that updation. I go try my best. Um, I ain't too sure how to answer that one. Not to be honest. I think it depends on the dynamics of the situation. If it's a relationship situation where, let's say, a man and a woman are friends, and it's very obvious that they have a connection and they work well together and they have an interest in each other and it's known between both parties, and the man hesitant to make it official, I could see I could see even a woman that's not normally forward in those situations saying basically, hey partner, well, we wasting time. It's better we get this thing going. You know what I mean? That don't necessarily mean that she will continue. Well, you see, we don't have people owning up. That don't necessarily mean that she will continue to try to attempt to play that leadership role in the relationship. And if a woman could make decisions, or if a woman could influence the man, in a prodding way, not to nag, but sometimes to take the forefront and push him in the back a little bit to get things going. And she'll know that after she get the ball rolling, she could hop in the seat next to him and let the man start driving the car. Then I could see that as working perfectly well, and the dynamics of the relationship could still flow in a positive. If there's a sign, however, that the woman making that decision and setting the tone for her behavior throughout the rest of the relationship, then I think the relationship may have some concerns, because societal views out the window. From a biblical perspective, the man definitely supposed to be shouldering responsibilities for leadership in the relationship. So that is my view. Depends on the situation.
Yeah, well, once again, Ola just taking everything that I have to say, but I'll say it regardless, right? Okay, so I think that it is as Emerson said, if you and this person are really good friends, right? And I talking from my personal experience here. If you and this person are really good friends, and it is always a back and forth kind of, we know we like each other thing. I don't know why we sticking to get this ball rolling, like we just do this thing, then I don't find something is wrong with the woman initiating the relationship, right? And as he also said, that does not mean that in the future she will want to, be the leader in everything, and she don't know when to submit and all these different things. That doesn't necessarily mean that. But I remember Krista was saying something earlier when it came to the woman having to push for literally every single step. Now, okay, so you initiate the relationship, cool, even though, but then you see, this is the thing too, you have to know who you're initiating the relationship with. Because if you, like, let's get real, you will know when, from a woman's perspective, right? You will know when a man is a waste of time, as in, like, oh God, it's everything so I had to be asking you for, everything so I had to be begging you for. Like, you will see. You understand? And so if he just plain, shy or Freddy or something, and you say, yeah, well, let me just get this relationship over with. We doing this thing or what? Right? And he agreed to it. And then when it's time for it to get engaged, now you're like, well, time going, time going. And then when it's time for it to get married, no, we engaged for 10 years and all these different, and you continuously have to push and push and push. Well, bet your life. That is a relationship where she will have to be the leader because it's everything. And then, too, the signs will be there even outside of a relationship because for every move, even the moves that he wants to make for his personal growth, she will have to be pushing. And so, yeah, that is when the woman pushing for the relationship will be, or initiating a relationship will be crazy to me.
You know, Jane? All right, here my perspective on the matter, right? I don't necessarily see it as a bad thing because, as fellows know, it have a real fine line between being a creep and being flirtatious, right? A real fine line. Men does work with being a creep and then being flirtatious now, right? So sometimes, we had to observe the situation. I think it's not that we don't want to make a move. It's that sometimes we're trying to figure out if all are interested in me in that kind of way. And sometimes we just end up kind of like staying at all like Samuel L. Jackson now, right? Which is not really a kind of good way to be staying at women. You understand? That will creep them out even more. So I believe that, you know, if if policy if policy like, hey, here's the thing, this is somebody you could see yourself with too, and the other person clearly feeling the same way about you, then make your move, right? I ain't saying that, well, what Krista was saying there, like you're naturally piloting the ship for this person, that ain't making no sense, right? But it's nothing just to say, well, here's the scene, right? I see you staring at me like Samuel L. Jackson there. You like more something, right? Boom, boom, thing, relationship up, right? So I don't necessarily see it as a bad thing. I'm Krista. I see you have a question to ask.
Okay, I don't know if it's like a question, but okay. So I have had experience with this, right? Where this guy was constantly staring at me,
Somebody
and
like you, too. People like you.
you're lucky we on live. You're always catching me when we on live, so I can't get no chat
Somebody
and thing
actually
now.
find you interesting. It's all going on with you.
Anyway,
Stop your mind. You think I get on.
anyway, right? So he was feeling me. I know he was feeling me, and there was this back and forth type of thing. But I was like, so you're going to ask for my number or not? Because I got to the point where I was fed up, right? Yes, girl. I got to the point I was fed up. This man complimented my smile. You're like, you have a real beautiful. 3, 4 times in a row telling me my smile beautiful. I'm saying thank you, waiting, just waiting. Like I'm like, yeah, thank you. My dad came for me. I had to go. It's like, damn. Until like what? I don't know how long it was of a back and forth. I'm like 2 weeks or so. I don't know. But I'm like, yes. But I'm like, okay, you know what? I fed up. So I sat down next to him and I was like, so are you going to ask for my number or not? And I think he said something like, wow, you real forward now. And I was like, yeah. You're gonna take my number? Because he was still there was a lapse now. There was a lapse from when I asked him after he said you're forward, there was like a silence now. So I'm like, you're going to ask? Like, what's going on here?
I have a
And
question
long
when
yeah,
you're
long
done.
story short, because I'm gonna cut it, right? I was the one initiating the text, right? I was the one, thing. I say, hi, how you doing? Da, da, da. Never a continuity of the conversation. You understand what I'm saying? And then like I said, I was always the one initiating the talk, and I was always the one doing this. And I was like, you know what? I ain't got no time for this. So I ended it. And I think I think I shared that story there. I was gonna ask a question, but I forget it. I shared this story there to initially say to women, you see that little scenario that went on? You see how I cut it dry, cut it off one time right there? More women need to do that because that is a sign. That is actually no, a lie. A lie. I left out a key detail. Before all of that, he tell me he was shy and insecure. Oh my god. From that point, from that point, don't do what I did. From that point, it was to cut it off. Not when you get the talks and forget that. He say he's shy and insecure, lock it off. You don't want that anyway. You already have something to say?
Christian, I have a question to ask you, right?
Ask your
You
question.
you make yourself open during that whole conversation with that, but
Yes.
you actually look like you was interested in him, or you sit
Yes.
down and you screw up your face. Which one?
Nah, I don't screw up my face. Listen, let me only want me to add stuff to this
Which
hour.
one? Mm-hmm.
He was more interested talking to his friend, to his boy than me, dog. We sit down next to each other having a conversation mid sentence. This man go turn around and talk to his homie. We sit down on couch having conversations, right? Talking music, talking different things. Hey, Baba, I don't go and call name, but he call out partner name. And I'm sitting down there like, I was literally just speaking. You was mid sentence though.
I have
And
a
you know
question,
me.
Krista.
Like, you know my face. Ask me a
Was
question.
was he cute?
To me at the time, yes. To me now,
Oh,
no.
okay. Okay. Because I was going to say, well, if he ain't cute, then I mean, you you waste your time. But anyhow, yes. So no, I totally agree with you because sometimes it's really a tough route. But that same asking you for your number thing and whatever, it's like why I have to ask you to ask me for my number? I went through something like that already, but we won't get into that. Yeah, you had you wanted to
I
ask
asked him the same. I mean, at least the man didn't look at you and ask you why you didn't ask him for his number.
good,
I,
yeah, right, you know. Right, you
yeah, I
know.
get that. I got that. So
You
Sean,
see,
no.
now I want to know the story.
She
Why you
giving
doing this?
teasers.
Eh?
Can I just
um
confessions and hear this now? What going on here?
if Deb asked me the story and I was gonna leave it right there.
Nah, but
Make a long story short.
you're already in too deep in the talk here, Sean. You bring it up, finish the story one time.
Started
Make a
talking
long
and
story
thing,
short.
right? Okay, all right. He was talking and thing normal. First off,
Yeah.
I initiated the conversation. Let me just start here, right? I didn't even go with any intent. I just asked a simple question, and after that, talk start. Cool. So we started talk and thing.
You lucky.
Um, I can't remember if I found him on Facebook or he find me. Anyway, I take it there was Facebook conversation, like a lot of Facebook conversation. And then after a while, some one of those days, he said something very strange, and I didn't really think nothing about it. But then he was extremely upset, like really upset, that I just kind of left it of us talking on Facebook and did not ask for his number. He literally said, "So you're not gonna ask me for my number or nothing?" Excuse me? What? You were upset because I didn't ask you? You didn't ask me for my number either. Anyhow, yeah. Long story short, that done. Quick, fast, in a hurry. So yeah,
It was
that
dead.
is it.
I have a little small 2 cents to add to this scenario here. So I want to say a little thing there for all the ladies that watching or go watch in the future. Ladies, for the most part, a man who interested in you will act like he interested in you. So if a man talking to you, virgin, and then turning to you and saying two words in between something clearly, is either something wrong with the man or he really ain't that interested in you. And it's no offense, no man should take that personally because sometimes fellas just can't really figure out what they're interested in
Yeah,
and
them.
what they're not interested in. But that is a sign for you not to waste your time. From the time if a man interested in you and he really interested, he I know how I used to feel, right? And I just lie with my boys and talk to my boys and ignore men. I used to do that all the time. But if a woman around that I'm interested in, I will forget about the boys. And I see all my brethren do the same thing. Sometimes we just have to beg them fellas to remember we are wrong when a girl there that they're interested in. So this is a universal thing. All men just forget the boys when they have a girl around that they're interested in. So that man doing that is a sign. Any woman that experiencing that, tell yourself, check out that situation one time. Check yourself out of that situation. Also, it have a smoothness factor that is come with a man pulling smalls and leaving it so. So it a men watch things like Hitch, where I know if you see that, where Hitch approached the girl by the bar and he pull a smalls of the girl and he say something funny and interesting and then he leave it right there. And then he say, anyway, the girl was anticipating him to ask for she number or to take it further. And he was like, nah, the man wouldn't do that because the man did that. The girl could just, say, nah, she not looking for that right now. And he would just say it was nice talking to you and have a nice day and leave it so. Right? So some fellas just try to be smooth and feel they could reproduce that kind of behavior and leave the situation on a cliffhanger and expect the woman to be there dreaming for the next time they meet the man again that he will come and ask. No. Fellas though really, yeah, there's some men who feel they could pull that off and instead is really failure thing. So they don't write them off. Sometimes when they're not asking is because they're trying to be smooth, and they're trying to not look like they're chasing and they're trying to make themselves look like they're real options. So they don't have to be desperate to ask if you know what. But making you ask them is foolishness. I don't know what our man was thinking, Sean. Clearly he I don't know. He watched Hitch in reverse or some kind of thing. I don't know what one did. And one more thing. All that pushing Jade, that is madness. What you was talking about before? A woman pushing a man at every step.
Oh,
That is that like that relationship is like me. That is a baby you're making. All that pushing.
and
That is madness. That is failure.
that is craziness. But yes, before Aaron asks his next question, right? Ole, when I was younger, I was very miserable. So I being very plain with y'all right now. I just used to be flirting with people because I was bored, right? I just used to see her and just be like,
You
hey,
are why we
I
are in the
like you.
predicament we are
And
today.
all this. Yes, right? I am part of the problem. But anywho, so this guy apparently he fell for me very hard, and used to be telling all kind of people that I am his wife and all these different things, right? So
Oh,
me being young and very miserable was like, all right, let me see if I could, finally talk to the guy on a serious level and all these different things, right? This boy confessed so much how he's so in love with me and all these different things. And I was like, so just like you, Krista, just like Shad, I was like, so all this in love. To this day, you ain't say, well, Jade, let me take you out on a little date, let me get your number, nothing like that. So whatever you and Sean went through, that is a very common thing because if three out of three girls could give basically the same story, that's something wrong. I mean, I was, listen, I was just bored, right? I was just bored. I'm very sorry.
All
I'm
right,
not
so
like that anymore.
to all you fellas who going to watch the show in the future or sometime in the near future, understand that you see what these ladies just admit to here? Right. Especially Jade with she miserable self. That is why men just be watching all they like Samuel L. Jackson and thing from across the room. Men doesn't want to
only
approach
Jade
them because they
admitting.
know. No, 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 Krista. No, 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 Krista. You have a guy I know you on a personal level here. Right? I ain't go out your business on the line. You don't worry yourself now, man. Anyway, yeah, this is why men that just watch all from across the room and thing and not make them move because they know plenty of all just playing the game for attention.
Ask your question there. I never
Yeah.
did.
Uh, my next question is right. Should men use social media to shoot the shot, or anybody in fact?
Use social media.
I mean, listen, it there for a reason, right? I don't. I try it. If you get through, you get through. If you don't, you don't. Try it. Try it. I prefer not to, but try it.
I mean, I think it's why it's called social media, right? You're supposed to be able to get social from on the media platform. Personally, I don't know that man. I like you will talk to man thing, and I need to stalk you. Like I need to see all your Facebook pictures. I need to see all your Instagram pictures. If you have the TikTok, I need to find you because I don't trust all you. You online, I don't know who you are. You could be a stalker. You could be a 70-year-old man. You could be a woman. I don't know. So I need to just like see as much as I could see of you online first.
So you're stalking a stalker.
Yeah, basically, I will stalk the stalker and then I will make my decision after. I mean, I know someone who I went to school with her. She met a guy online, literally, just talk online and thing. They got engaged. That engagement did not turn into a marriage. Um, yeah, no, that's not a. I don't know. I don't know that. I mean, you could do it, but it will take a lot for me to give into that kind of thing with you
I
online.
think shooting your shot is all right, but then if you want to have a full blown relationship online and online alone, no.
Yeah, but know how to do it too. Don't be weird with it.
Yeah, that too.
Oh, there you are. I said, bust all your shot, brothers. No, but on a real, I mean, if we are to be honest, typically women prefer to interact. There's why I think most fellas think. Women prefer these days to interact with people over social media. Not everybody enthusiastic about, just jumping out there and seeing people face to face and spending their actual, me time on any interaction with anybody of the opposite sex. For the most part, people like to reach a certain distance over social media at a distance where it's safe before they even make a decision to be in the same, breathing the same air as you. So fellas, shoot all your shot, brother. Bust all your shot, whatever kind of gun all you have, use it over the internet. But just to build attraction. You're not in it, you don't want to go too far. My opinion is yes, shoot all your shot, show interest, build attraction, and then try to convert that into something that could become tangible. Conversations over the phone, pre, pre, conversations over the phone preferably, and then transition that into a meetup so something real could start developing. But by all means, shoot your shot online, start, build attraction, making intentions known on a level that's not going to be weird, and then see where it could transition from there.
Yeah, I mean, shoot your shot. Listen, any avenue, take it, you know. As far as I'm concerned, any avenue, take it. That is all I have to say for this question. Because I don't see nothing wrong with that. And besides, if you shoot your shot on social media, then I could, look through your social media platforms, like what Shan said. I could see who you are and all of that. So yeah,
I kind of torn between the two, right? Because first thing first, I find people who like to have talk over social media when you meet them in person, it just be boring as hell, right? And if it's one thing that's annoy me, you see that, right? And the next thing too, this is my negative against the social media thing. You see, when you're talking to somebody and they reply in the one word answer thing, I will lock you off faster. I will lock you off faster that way. Like that is just annoying me. And I will just say, well, here's the scene. All right, block, delete, and I gone and I on to the next one. Preferably, I prefer approach somebody and talk to them face to face, right? If you ain't like me, tell me ain't like me, my face. You understand, man? Don't string me along, right? Because I go appear in your house. Nah, I just joking with that last part. Um, yeah,
Just just
that,
something that when you're done.
yeah. Go ahead first. 'Cause I have plenty to say.
Oh, well, I was just going to say that the reason why I go in more to the negative is because I have had shots being shot in my inbox.
yeah, and I'm
And
thinking that.
after that, you okay. we will talk, but then you start to get creepy. You get very weird. So it's like, no. So that now making me feel anybody who doing that is going to be weird. Because just no. Like I'm talking to you, just be normal. Just talk. Don't get strange on me. So I was like,
Yeah,
no, no.
yeah. Now that you say that,
Yeah.
because just now, Aaron, I just wanted to say this
Nah, don't cut more. Yeah,
because
I was
What?
on BBM when BBM was fitna. You understand me? And I was part of this group on BBM where, like, it's Trinidadian people talking, and sometimes somebody see a profile picture, they might send you a little, I forget what they used to call it. I would just say follow request for the universal understanding, right? I remember I was talking to this one girl, right? Boom, now me and the girl in him talking for about a good 5 days. Next minute, I see she friend have up my profile picture up and she display picture. Yeah, I telling you. So I had to set that straight one time, right? And she went and said, well, boy, my friend did like it, thing. But I real quarrel with she. I real quarrel with she. Because that is not how we just do things. You understand me? I just can't find a girl attractive and just take she profile picture and put it up as my thing. How that go look? You understand what I said? So I real quarrel with she. I say, well, hey, here's the scene. If you're trying to put in a word for your friend, you know what I mean? Tell your friend to slow it down a little bit now. I know she might be wearing the iron drawers and thing, and she eager for it to come off, but she takes she time a little bit. You understand me? Yeah, so that's why I really and honestly don't trust the social media thing when it comes to shooting a shot. I rather do it in person. But that is just my opinion at the end of the day.
After Gina will say something.
yeah, I'm not going to ask the king if I could have talked now. But anyhow, so
Mm.
um, I remember now that Shan was talking, this shooting and shot in on social media thing is really different. Eh? And I think it's because they usually, well, they could hide behind a screen. You understand? So once you're hiding behind a screen, you're telling yourself, well, I could do and I could say and I could, you understand? I remember this one guy shot his shot with me, and he was asking me for foot pictures after.
You ain't
It's
game?
like, dude,
You ain't game?
listen, foot pictures, you don't get anything for free. That's how to pay for foot pictures.
Well, alright,
Right?
just you gotta pay a price. I don't
What?
know, you could have a 1,000, some have a little 10,000, rack up easy.
Anyhow,
And
He have a
all
point.
knows
He
wish
have
we
a
could have
point.
we have on some red bottoms,
he
some
didn't
red
have no
bottoms,
money.
Christian Louboutins and thing.
I sure he didn't have no money to pay for them foot pictures. I
You never
sure.
ask, but
I
you never
sure.
ask,
I telling you, I sure.
but you never ask. Supposing you had a Cinderella slipper to give you.
Anyhow, and this next guy who I was talking to, and he was telling me all kind of things that he does to himself sexually. And when I see the young man, yes, I know it's very disgusting. And when I went to school and I saw the young man again, he acting like, oh God, I'm so frightened, I'm so frightened. So I was like, hi, you don't want to say hello? Now that we're in person, you can't say hello? I had to approach him because, you understand? But yeah, so that shooting your shot in on social media kind of strange.
Okay, so I have a slightly different story. So this guy shot his shot in person, right? But we connected over the social media. At which point, and Olive, forgive me, okay? I was an idiot. I was young. He asked me for a picture and I sent it. Not like a racy picture or anything. I don't do that. But I sent a picture of myself, like just like some weird something. And later on, he showed me that it was his screen protect. What is it called? It not protector, screen saver. Like he put it as his screensaver, and I think, well, Similar along the lines to Jade, he was real chatting me with a sex talk, trying to, and trying to, go into that direction. And I realized that social media, whether you link up in person, first or not, the fact that social media exists, it just gives people like this false bravado, right? Where they could just, they could say, do anything. So shooting your shot in person and shooting your shot online, listen, weirdos are weirdos.
That's true. Emerson, you
Jade,
want to say something before we move on?
yeah, just a little, just something. I just want to respond to Jade's story. I just confused by why after this man tell you the things he tell you, you see it fit to approach this man and ask him if he still want to, like, why, like, you should have been like, oh, all right, cool, yeah, don't approach me, I cool.
Okay, so the school that I went to was very, very, very small, right? And I was telling myself, if you had all that talk on social media, then it means that you have to have all that talk in person too. You understand? And then too, I was sitting down in a certain place and he came to speak to somebody. So it's like, why you getting on? So you have all that talk and you see me and you can't say hello. I have to approach you.
Yeah. So the next question is right. Well, this is for all the women on the panel. Um, how would y'all, in your own personal way, whatever you choose to call it, right, open up yourself to show a man who are interested in that, hey, I want you.
So basically, how do we attract men? How do we attract the
Yeah,
men we want?
yeah, the monsters. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give bullet points for this one, right? Be feminine, show interest, and appear friendly, right? So be feminine is like, don't sit like, like if it's a dude, watch your mannerisms, watch how you speak, show interest. I was never raised this way. I was never taught to like tell a boy or tell a guy that I like them. But I'm growing up now and I'm like, you know what? I don't have time for this. If I like you, I'm going to tell you I'm going to like you. So whether it's, like flirtatious eyes or like, blatantly saying, hi, I like you. Um, I'm going to show interest and then appear friendly. So, don't be some haggard, angry, bitter looking person, smile. Even when you're talking to your friends, like, I'm a people watcher. So when I'm out and about, I notice people and how they interact with their friends, what they have to say. Sometimes I like to map with their conversations a little bit. So, if you're in the vicinity of a young man that you are interested in, don't be talking about, oh gosh, all men are trash. Oh God, I can't stand man. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Be friendly. Even to them, like, give them a nice smile, say hello, be polite, that type of thing.
Krista, you say real plenty there. I don't know if I can answer this question. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I think I just be yourself. Be I don't know. Smile. Say hello. if, if there's somebody there you like and you're watching them and they happen to watch you, smile. And if they come to say hello, talk, be open, be I don't know, I guess that is it, just be open to them when they're talking to you. Don't play like you ain't want to talk and yeah, hard to get. Just talk, be happy, smile, enjoy the conversation. Yeah.
Personally, Sean, the answer that I struggle to give there, I feel is the best possible answer to that question. You see how you don't know what to say to that question? That is the perfect response. Because the reality of the situation is, well, first thing first, I should probably say this. That question is a better question for men to answer than for men to answer. Because we're the ones that really had to tell Ollie what Ollie does do that really interests us. You know what I mean? And what the answer Ollie really give there is an answer as to how, here the question Ollie really answered it. How not to turn off a man that already interested in you. You know? So basically, now that the man interested in you, here's what to do so that the man don't change his mind. But really and truly, the way you are, the attitude you have is the right attitude to have because at the point when the man, trying to communicate with you, or you're being open and all of that, all that is just to be decent and to keep the conversation moving forward, to keep the interest from dying. But the things that women really do to attract a man, and we're not talking about juvenile relationships here, right? We're talking about people who want to attract somebody of value that they could potentially marry one day or something along them lines of a significant relationship. Is a man will identify a woman that he interested in, at least the kind of men that I know all the ladies interested in, the kind of quality men that most women really want. A man like that, what would attract him is your character. Like you will observe your behavior, and not just when like in a cordial, in a social situation, just the way you carry about yourself, the things you do with your time, uh, the way you speak, the way you move. Like one of the things Krista said that is a good point for attracting is feminine qualities. A man will observe whether you're graceful, whether you seem virtuous, whether you seem like the kind of person that respectful, things like that, qualities like that. And a man will also observe the things you're doing in your life, the things you have going on. All them things is the deeper things is really what is attract a man. Aside from the obvious, like take good care of yourself, present yourself well, look good, have good hygiene, you know, look nice. But other than the obvious, no point mentioning the obvious, right? Is more about your character and what you do with yourself and your time and your general behavior is what does attract a man. And then when you actually start talking to you, everything Krista says does apply. But like Sean say, what you gonna do to attract a man? You had to be the kind of woman that a man would see as attractive. There's nothing much you can do beyond that. So you should be working on being a particular kind of woman. So the job is really to determine what kind of one that is.
Yeah, I agree with you, Emerson, because I can't answer that question either. I don't know. What was the question? How we attract men? How we make it known that men could approach us? That's the question. Yeah, I don't know. You just stand up and as Sean and Grizzle say, smile. And as Emerson said, you show your character somehow, you be yourself, and hopefully he takes notice. Put yourself in situations for him to notice you. Look, Ruth put herself in a situation where she was noticed. So, I mean, I guess that's basically it. Next question.
Aaron, any answer?
Let me just add on since here, right? Um, I would say, right, he says something about the particular type of man. Well, look at him here, right? Yeah, he says something about the particular kind of man that might be watching that here, right? Now I say in it plain, right? 90% of men, right, does watch anything, right? So it really is have the basically I don't want to narrow it down to only 10%, but I could just use it as since we use it, since I already see a percentage already. The 10% of man go actually be looking, he know what he looking for. 90% of men looking to get something out of you, right? And the thing about it is, a woman don't have to do much to get a man attention. She could just watch. She could have no tongue. She could just watch him and just point so, right? And he could be interested in she. To be real honest with all it, right? Is the ones who really have something going in their life who will say, hey, here's the scene. All right, I looking at your character and what you could probably bring to my life and whatever the case may be. But I learn only playing one time because all I know is somebody who does talk my mind. 90, I ain't gonna say 90, I gonna bring it down a little bit to about 80. 80% of the men only meet, right, will watch only and be interested in only without only even doing anything, right? Only they started wear the right dress, the right earrings, the right eyeliner, and whatever the case may be, and he done interested already. Is the 20% who actually going somewhere with their life that, go have a little more character to what they're looking for in a person. That is all I had to say. Chris, you have anything to ask?
No, I'm good. Oh
Right,
wait, you said
so
ask?
yeah, ask, yeah.
I thought you said add. Okay, right. Yes, I do. So this one is for the men, right? How, in your eyes, in a man's eyes, would a woman who wears, wigs, long nails, a lot of makeup be viewed differently, or would she be viewed differently than a woman who has a more natural look, um, or approach to her?
I'm saying you wanna go first or you want me to go first?
Um, I think that is a fairly subjective question. I don't think it have an ideal overall viewpoint to give, but I may be leaning towards this perspective. I think we definitely going in a direction where because of a lot of effort being put into women's rights and freedom for women to make decisions about how they look and how they dress and how they act, and it being normalized, has led towards society accepting women who look all different types of ways and still leave room for them to be a good woman. But it's a work in progress, and I don't know if it's a good work or not. That is a conversation. That is a separate matter, right? But it's a work in progress, and I think the end result of it is that it's because it's not a complete work. It still has a school of thought out there that uh, a traditional looking woman, looking like a traditional woman, I should say, implies that you have certain values that a woman who doesn't look like a traditional woman may not have. So that view is still out there, where there's the opposite view that society is certainly leaning more and more towards, which is you could look like any kind of woman and you could be a good woman. So nobody should judge you based on how long your nails is, or what kind of hair you have, or maybe what kind of clothes you wear, depending on vulgarity and all of that. That's still a thing. But your style of fashion, whether it's a little out there, if you're a little emo, if you're a little different things. I think society becoming a little bit more relaxed on on things like that. But like I said, it was not a complete job. So I still feel like men gonna be leaning towards probably from programming, from fathers and grandfathers and men talking and society, even women, even old school women, and expecting women to look a certain way still. So I still think that that's still a thing, and women will still be judged based on the way they appear as there's still a stigma attached to the way I look.
Um, Ask that question again for me, Krista. I want to get my words straight. On mute.
Thanks, thanks.
Yeah,
So basically, in the eyes of men, or in the eyes of you, the two men we have on our panel, how
yeah.
would a woman who wears a lot of makeup or wigs go on? When I say wigs, I'm not talking about like natural looking wigs. I'm talking about like pink, purple, orange, that type of wigs. And long nails be viewed differently than a woman with a more natural approach or look. Would they be seen differently? Would they be viewed differently?
All right. In my opinion, I lean towards the more natural looking woman, right? So your own hair, your own nails, because from the time I see them long nails, I just get turned off one time. I just call them thing chicken, right? Um, that weave wig things, no, I don't like that. I don't like makeup. Anybody who know me personally go tell you that if you ask me a question about makeup, I will watch you and screw off, right? Because makeup and thing is not my thing, right? I want to see all the bump on your face. I want to see the scars. I want to see everything. To me, them things look better to me because it's showing me who you really is, right? And I don't mean to heap certain women under one spoon, but sometimes we just see the women who with the long bat eyelashes who just be talking about, oh, men not real anymore, men not real anymore. Your eyelash ain't real. That eye color you have on in your eye ain't real. That hair you have on your head ain't real. So how you could tell me what a real man is if nothing you have on real? Well, you understand what I saying, right?
Yeah,
So
brother.
I
Yeah.
tend I tend to believe that this is just my belief, people. I tend to believe that the women who wear their natural look have more substance to them, right? That's just my little 2 cents on the matter. Oh,
Okay.
sorry, I ain't even know why I'm here. I didn't ask the next question. Hold on there, Ole. I cannot screw myself here. Oh God, Ole. Don't kill me yet. Um, right, right. In today's culture, right? You think it really makes sense for the traditional way of men shooting their shot to be a thing still? Because feminism influenced so much in the culture moving forward in today's society, right? So you think that men supposed to be doing the traditional thing with approaching women and asking women out on dates and whatever the case may be?
I think
Uh,
we didn't answer that already, basically. With the whole shoot your shot and men making the first move and all of that. I feel so.
well, I don't know. I answered it anyway. You have
Yeah, I
answered
think
it.
we covered already.
Yeah, we covered that
I don't mind
already.
adding something though.
Mm-hmm.
I will just say this.
If unless somebody else has something to say.
Yeah, I just want to say one thing, right? I don't know if it makes sense, right? But I do think, not just men, but women as well. I think that to save today's society, it makes sense for both men and women to be a bit more traditional than what we are. That's all I would like to say.
Alright. But here I want to add to that, right? And this I didn't touch on this before and I should have, so I'm glad it kinda come back up again. This is one of the aspects of being traditional that valuable in this situation. So I just wanna mention our scripture. Proverbs 8:18-22 says in the King James Version, he who findeth a wife findeth a good thing and obtaineth favor of the Lord. So here I bring up that. It ain't saying that he who findeth a woman, it's saying he who findeth a wife. So the assumption there is that when he find you, is basically a wife already. Um, Now that don't mean women that don't mean ladies that when all they find the man, all they have to cook for him and clean for him and do everything he say and all of that. No, we're talking about your character. But here why that related to shooting the shot. A man don't become a husband from the beginning. But a woman is like a wife when at the point when the man find a woman, she's like a wife already. But at the point when the woman find a man, or at the point when the man approach the woman, he's not a husband yet, because the role of a husband is one that a woman had to decide to allow a man to do. She had to choose. She had to basically choose to be a part of the man's life and to follow the man down the path he wants to go, and she had to choose to submit, and then she had to choose to allow the man to fulfill his role as a husband. So, but if the man not allowed to shoot a shot. Basically, if the man not allowed to go and find a wife, then he don't ever get the opportunity. And if a woman seek out a man before she give him the opportunity to uh, basically to try to wife her, then she could be looking to find a husband who never get the opportunity to display whether or not he's really husband material. You know what I mean? So it could be like it could be the opposite. It could be he who findeth she who findeth a husband findeth a good thing. But that's not really what it is about. Because a man can't be a husband up front. A woman could be a wife up front. So that is to me one of the main reasons the traditional approach important. Because it's only work that way, don't work the next way.
All right, then. So my next question is, what's the difference between men and women with life in general? Like, how do you think life differs from being a man than being a woman?
I know and I don't know at the same time. um, I think. in today's society, we're not talking about back in the day, but in today's society, I think that women have a bit more privilege than men do. I think when it comes to, getting children after divorce, or like even programs like homeless shelters and certain things, like there's a lot of things put in place for women that I think men are slowly coming, like programs are slowly coming to play for men. I've witnessed one or two. Um, but I think society is more geared to, I don't know, appease or satisfy the wants and needs of a woman rather than men. That's my opinion.
And I agree with Krista. A lot of things today is woman centered. When we talk about abuse, nobody talks about men being abused because women get abused. Even in the family dynamic, if the man and the woman go to court, the woman gets the more privilege than the man automatically for whatever reason. There are a lot of things in the world that the woman will be the one to get the privilege rather than the man. So the man has to work extra hard to get anything of value, really and truly. There's really nothing that comes easy. For a man, neither for it not it don't really come easy for a woman, but it is easier for women to get certain things than for men. Men are looked upon, I think, with the hardest eye. Oh, because they're always doing something wrong. Like everything a man do, somehow it is wrong. He should do it this way and he should do it that way and he should have been like this and he should have and he should have and he should. And the woman is like, oh well, well maybe at home and maybe she did and maybe instead of why didn't she also? You understand? So I think women have it a little well, a lot more easy than men.
I just want to add one thing before anybody adds. To add on to what Sean just said, the level of accountability is harder or more pressured on men. Like men are held to a different type of accountability than women. I don't even know if women in society are being held accountable.
Sean Gill is spitting bars tonight, yes. I they're preaching, but certainly from the male perspective, everything you say there is true. But this question is really, if I to be honest, it is a complex question. And if we take it from face value, then it could be easy to say that it more difficult for men because we really live in a woman centric society. Even though men still hold the cards in the highest places, men still have the authority. But the assumption was made probably 50 years ago that we live in a patriarchy and that it's tyrannical, so that somebody need to concentrate all their efforts into providing uh, security and equity and equality for women. And it spiraled out of control. So now the assumption remains that men fine and that nothing wrong with us and we never have anything to worry about, and we just kind of society has just gone with the flow that we need everything we need to do need to take women into consideration. But that doesn't underscore, well, I shouldn't say underscore, that doesn't remove the fact that it's also very difficult to be a woman, because now in order to be a valuable woman in the sense of honor, or in the biblical sense, or even in the sense of a woman who could really contribute something significant to her home or to the future, women now have to battle against the stereotypes that exist now for women that's supposed to support them, but they actually contribute to making them worse, or making life more difficult. Then women now have to fight against the stereotypes that force them to treat men a particular way, or to grow the children in a particular way, or to teach values in a particular way, and then to influence the next generation of men that women can now complain about and say that they stand for all the things that women don't like, or the things that not further in society at all. So to be honest with you, at face value, men definitely have it more difficult. But if you really look at it from a deeper perspective, women have it really, really hard too, because of the fact that women have to make the extra effort now to be different than the expectations society place on them. And I could see that being a real troublesome thing for women to have to deal with.
Yeah, I agree with everybody who gave their answers so far. Um, it was very shocking to me. I think it was last week when I was, going to school and I desperately had to use the bathroom. So the person who usually drops us to school, he pulled into a gas station and I went and I used the bathroom and I came out. And then, I just telling him the experience of how the girl watchman, she was laughing and whatever. Nah. And then he told me, he was like, if you were a man, she wouldn't let you use the bathroom. So in my mind now, I'm like, okay, so if I was a man and I probably had like irritable bowel syndrome or diarrhea or something like that, right? And I desperately needed to use the bathroom. She wouldn't let me use the bathroom because I was a man. And then he was like, yeah, she would not let you use the bathroom because remember they figure that, men could just go on the side of the road and do what they have to do or whatever the case is. And I just find that was very weird. That was the first time that I actually understood and realized that as a woman, you really have certain privileges. That was the first time that I recognized that, right? And what I find, well, Aaron was listening to a podcast this week, and I heard the man making fun of the fact that people say girls mature faster than boys, right? And in my mind, I was like, okay, they probably came up um, with that whole phrase, girls mature faster, because they actually wanted to give girls more responsibility in the home, right? Because there are many stories, if you listen to like your parents or whatever, you would hear them say things like, yes, I probably grew up with my male cousins or my brothers or whoever, and they were able to run about the place and they were able to do certain things, go out with their friends and all of that. And then when it came to me as a girl now, I was unable to do those things. And when you ask, all right, why I can't do that, it's because no, you are a girl, you are to stay home and do this. And in certain cultures, um, the girl has to basically take care of her brothers as though she is the parent, as though she's the brother wife in certain cultures. You understand? So I think the reason why they said that girls mature faster than boys is not because it is true, but because they had to give an excuse as to why we have to give her more work to do or give her more responsibility in certain things, or why we have to hold her accountable for certain things. You understand what I'm saying? And so I really think that life is equally as um, challenging for both males and females, because there are things obviously that men will go through that I can't understand even if you explain it to me, and then there are things that women will go through that they can't understand even if we explain it to them. So that's my question, that's my answer to that. And just to go on to my question now, right, because we were talking about something before this, but anyhow, and this question may come out, a little left field. But in your opinion, right, if a woman has multiple baby daddies and she has, right, so she has multiple baby daddies, right? Should one specific baby daddy buy toys and food and such for everybody, like all the other children, or should he be allowed to only take care of his child? Like, is it wrong if he only takes care of his child because she has multiple? And let's say he has like about one or two with her, or whatever, and he only wants to take care of his one or two. Is it wrong for him to exclude the other children, or should he be able to just take care of the one or two?
Before I answer, I asked Aaron if he wanted to answer the previous question.
Nah, it doesn't come out my system already. Let me move on to the next question.
Okay. I don't think it's wrong if he just wants to take care of his two children because that's the two children that he had. You understand what I'm saying? Um, See, I've had this. There was a clip that came up months ago, I think, or weeks ago, I think, and I had this thought. I had this conversation came about whether um, this man was responsible for the food or toys or whatever of, you know, his ex's other kids. And my overall answer is no, he's not responsible. But then I had a thought. I was like, okay, if they are in a relationship, like let's say he's deciding, all right, I understand that you have multiple baby daddies. I understand that you have a bunch of, men in your racket and children in your house. If I as a man, I'm coming to you and saying, I want to take you on, you're kind of taking on the whole package in my mind, right? Like you're signing yourself up for the whole package. Now, I'm not saying that you are the children's sole father, but things like, all right, I buy some KFC or something, buy for the whole house. You understand, like that type of thing. That's what I say. But overall, like if he's just the baby daddy, he has no relations with her. There's no connect. Like they just had children together, and he just done. No, let him take care of his kids. You take care of the rest of your kids. Like, come on.
Yes, I fully agree with Krista. But I also think he should be able to choose. As in, yes, I am with you. I have two kids with you. You have 10 with six other people. Then those six other people need to take care of their 10 children. Let me take care of my two. If, like Krista say, I so decide that, this is a relationship that I want, at that point, I think he still has the choice of saying whether or not he gonna take care of them other six children. It's according to the relationship that they have and his choices. Now, like Krista say, if you're buying KFC, oh God, buy KFC for the whole house now. But for certain things, I think you should be able to choose that if I want to take care of those 10 other children or not. That's just me.
It's an interesting question, I must say. First thing first, more power to the man who looking to set up himself with some girl with multiple baby daddies and he want to make himself a further baby daddy. He have my full respect. But just in case as a man you end up in that situation, I like one of the points Krista make and kudos Krista for saying that. If you're looking to set yourself up in a relationship situation, and I think in the context of marriage as a provider, as a stereotypical and traditional man, you know what you're buying cash. It's not like it's cat and bag. You know what the woman have and you know the situation. If you know you can't deal with that, leave the people woman, which part she is, which she bag her children and all the baby daddies, and find somebody with less drama so that you could be the kind of man you want to be. If not, mind the children. Take the woman, mind the children, provide for everybody. Because if that's the role you choose and you know you meet a woman under them circumstances, you can't take the woman and leave the children behind. What belongs to the woman belongs to you now. That is your children. Now, if you and the woman have an understanding, then that's fine, like Shan was saying, and I'll 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 agree with Shan to that on that level. That if you and the woman have an understanding before you get to that place in the relationship, then that is fine. But if you know as a man that that is the kind of relationship role that you want to have, the traditional role, then support everybody. If you can't do it, find somebody else. That is my perspective.
Aaron, you have something to say before I say anything?
I was just going and say, boy, that man whoever make two children and then the woman at 12 or 10 or how much ever, he has steel balls. That's all I would say. Because to tell you the honest truth, I don't see. Listen, being honest with you, I was at a point in time I was with somebody who had a child. You understand me? Me knocking the girl, they give me and the girl in there because she do something wrong. I was the jack in that case, right? I was the cause of the thing. I take blame for that, right? But what I saying is, from my perspective, I do think it makes sense going with somebody who have children, especially if you know you want your own. There are plenty women who are no children, and you could choose to start a family with them. You ain't had to talk to, you ain't had the chance to when you and she hugging up and kissing in the night. You're hearing Joshua from down the road calling to see his children and them, and James calling to see his children and them the next day. I don't find that particularly makes sense. But if you do put yourself with that lady, right? If you put yourself with that lady and you say, hey, you and she have it down in writing that, hey, here's the scene, you, me, and you together, then boy, you had to buy McDonald's or KFC for all she turned to.
You inside there trying to love up with your wife and your hen. Cindy!
Yeah,
Cindy!
yeah, yeah. Somebody calling you outside. You understand me?
Oh god, I weak. Oh yes. Only I wanna be a horrible man. The guy only buying food for my children. Okay, if alright, as you all say, if I not in a relationship with you and I just name baby daddy, then bet your life is my child alone I buying food for. I ain't buying food for you. As a matter of fact, I'm buying food and I'm saying, come outside, let me eat this thing together. So nobody can feel they get any from it, right? That is one. Two, yes. If you are in a relationship with the woman, oh god, you know what you was going to get yourself into. So just buy KFC for the whole household, as you and Sean was, as Krista and Sean was saying, buy KFC for the whole household and call our George,
Is our next type of drama you gotta deal with too. One of she baby daddies sure to be territorial. He's sure to be want to kill you for some kind of thing. I've seen it happen many times. Where a man with a girl and she had children, and then when the baby daddy come around, he still believe that hey, what she having, she scared is she own, and he want to kill you. You understand me? Even though she write him off long time ago. But anyway, this is my second to last question here, people. All right. What are some double standards that exist between men and women, and do you agree with any of them?
All right. So I think I have like three or four. I'll just go them. All right. So one is the body positivity movement. I see it being more catered to like women, whether they're obese or um, have anorexic type bodies. It's mainly women that they uplift, and I don't see it being like I don't see it having men as well, like a equal of all right. There's some obese men on this platform too, and there's some anorexic looking men on this platform too, or even things like men having no hairline or let's call it the gut, a daddy belly, whatever. Those type of things aren't celebrated for men. Now, granted, to answer this question about whether I agree with the movement or not, I don't know. Like, okay, I
You don't have to
understand
agree with
loving.
all. You don't have to agree with some. If you agree with any, just say what you
Ah,
agree with.
Okay, well, I don't. Let's see, the body positivity one is a tricky one because I agree with, okay, loving your body, but I do think a part of loving your body is making sure that your body is healthy. So if you have an anorexic type body, looking body naturally, like you're eating, and you can't do things, fine. If you have a thyroid issue and you can't help it, or anything like that, and that's why you're overweight, okay, love your body, but I find us seeing people more celebrating. Yes, I eat this big chocolate mac. This, and showing off that they're eating a bunch of food, and that's being celebrated, and that's what body positivity is. Maybe it's my lack of knowledge on the movement, but so far I don't agree with it. Children, I think children are more likely to be awarded to mothers in a divorce rather than have like a equal, like a sit down and be like, all right, let's see what is the best outcome or best placement for this situation. I see it being more awarded to women than men. I disagree with that. I think that needs to be switched up, right? I think that needs to be reevaluated. And then body count. So a woman with a high, and for those of you who don't know what body count is basically the amount of sexual partners that you've had. So the whole issue about body count is that women who have a higher body count, meaning they've slept with a lot of people, are viewed as either less desirable or I can't say certain words on the internet, but use the imagination. They are viewed as those things, right? And men who have a higher body count, they aren't viewed as trash or anything like that. I sort of agree with the movement because I don't think that women should be promiscuous. At the same time, if my husband comes to me and tells me that he's had like 200, like he slept with 200 people, no. Like, no, 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 please no. So that's kind of where I stand with those three double standards that I see in society.
Um, this could be a very long list. Let's see. Um, if a man or a boy underage end up with a woman overage, that is a yeah, dog, you will get through. For a woman and a man doing that, he's gonna end up in prison. I don't agree with that. It is wrong on both sides. Um, if men like cooking and thing, they be like, oh, so he want to be a chef? No, he could probably just like cooking. Just like women, if I want to like cooking, it's not because I could be a woman who just likes to cook, or I could want to be a chef. Also, don't think I doing it because I am the woman and I have to cook. No, I just like cooking. Simple. Don't agree with that either. Same thing with the housework and all of that. And next one I heard, when women take care of the children, it's called parenting. But if the father looking after the child, they call it babysitting. You see, that just get me real upset. No, you are parenting, okay? You are looking after your children. You are not babysitting your child. Don't say that. I hate to hear that. You can't babysit your own child. You are parenting your child. Don't do it. That is getting real mad. And I had a next one, but I forget. So continue.
Alright, so like Shan said, this list could be super, super long. So I'll just start off by saying it could be difficult for you to come up with an example. I could be surprised if you could come up with an example of any double standard that I would agree with. Because for the most part, double standards is a negative thing. But I would say though that some of the things we view as double standards may not necessarily be, or we have to take it with a pinch of salt. Like for example, to touch on one of the most common ones, which is the issue that Krista and Shan kind of touch on, is the different views society have about men and women sexually. So some people might see it in this light. if you take this into consideration, women and men are valued for different things. So if you think about it that way, the double standard gonna be less of a double standard. For instance, a woman gonna be valued more for her chasteness, and a man gonna be valued more for his conquest. So the significance of a man having multiple partners is much less of a consequence than the significance of a woman having multiple partners, because it directly affects the thing that society values about women, which is a chaste character, chaste conduct. So you're doing things that society may deem as pretty much anti-woman, or at least anti what a traditional and valuable woman would should stand for. Whereas a man that doing that, it doesn't affect his value to society in the same way, because society doesn't care nearly as much about a man's chaste conduct as it does about a woman. So that in itself is not so much of a double standard, because it come like saying um, something like, why should society care about how well a dolphin swims versus how well a cow swims? It's things that have different roles, so you don't expect the same performance from the two different things in the same area. So yes, it's still a double standard, but it's a double standard you have to take with a pinch of salt, because you expect different things from men than you expect from women. But I do still believe that there's still a responsibility for a man to act a particular way, or else God would have simply say, well, men only could have as much sex as all they want, and women only should just be with one man. But seeing as he didn't say that, I think God expects that men have the same energy when it comes to sexual partners as women. But I just wanted to touch on the fact that society sees men and women in a different light. And that might be part of the reason these double standards exist. So my personal pet peeve, the double standard, is sexual behavior. And I'm talking about natural sexual behavior anyway. So where a woman is allowed to express the things that make a woman, men cannot do that. So a man can't, for instance, if he see a woman, tell she that she's sexy, or tell she that she have a nice body, or say the things that come natural for a man to say if he being honest. Like, if a man was to walk around the place being completely honest with women and and about his feelings, if that was encouraged, men would say a lot of things that society would deem as pervy, creepy, sexual harassment. But it's not encouraged for a man to be himself. It's not encouraged for a man to tell a woman, hey, you're looking sexy today. But that's, to me, what wrong with that? If you had to be completely honest, nothing wrong with that. But they're protecting women now from predators. So a man had to not even be able to be himself, just so that women could feel more secure in day-to-day life. Whereas a woman, and you see it a lot in sports, like when a man hits on a female reporter, it's be a big thing. It is make news. They say he undermining the woman as a professional and all kind of thing. But when you see the female athletes talking to the male reporters, sometimes they might get slapped on the bottom, they might get pinched on the cheeks, they might get a kiss, she might ask them out on a date, and it's be a joke. Nobody don't mind that. So we live in a society where women free to express themselves as they see fit without judgment from society, and men have to basically live lives as a noose around their neck, waiting to get hung if they just do things that come natural to them, and it don't have to be done in a manner that actually causing any harm. You know what I mean? And it gone to the point where it probably unfixable at this stage.
Shan, you wanted to finish saying something?
Yeah, I remember my point. My next point: a single mother is a red flag, but a single father, oh my gosh, he's such a good man, he's taking care of his child. Why? Why can't be that if she choose a deadbeat, that he didn't choose a deadbeat too? Yeah.
Oh, and Sean,
Yeah.
I didn't realize it wasn't done. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I agree with you, Shan, because I mean, I got to say something, but I'm gonna leave that to my mind. Right. So my double standard, I only have one, right? And it's that women, we telling women don't do wifey things unless he makes you a wife. But the woman expect the man to do husbandy things, and she didn't make him a husband. I don't understand that. So, all right. So, don't, I mean, I agree, right? I agree. Don't be doing wifey things. But you shouldn't expect husbandy things from him. The only thing that you owe him as a girlfriend is your time. That is it. That is it. You don't owe him money. You don't owe him.
Respect.
Well, wait. I reach in there. But I wasn't thinking respect. I was not thinking respect. But you owe him your time, you owe him your respect, and you owe him your love if he's loving you. Right? But, and that's what he owes you: time, respect, and love. That is it. He don't have to spend money on you. You don't have to spend money on him. You don't have to have sex with him. He don't have to have sex with you. He don't have to provide for you financially, and you don't have to provide for him financially, right? Because that is not your work, unless all you walk down the aisle, and this is for both men and women. Unless you all walk down the aisle and say your I do's and sign that piece of contract, you all do not owe each other anything except time, respect, and love. And so, therefore, I don't understand how I will walk around telling myself, well, Dynamite was born, he don't owe me, I don't owe he nothing, Dynamite was born. But when time come now, oh gosh, babe, I can't pay my bills. Help me pay my bills this month now. I don't have no food in my fridge. Help me buy food. No. No, 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 no. That's my take on it.
Even before I respond, I just want to say something quick. Jay, take care, start to get some death threats. I just tell you, you gotta be careful where you say out here. You looking to take gal nails money and hair money there. You
Careful
tell-
nothing.
Excuse me,
careful.
she right. She had to preach this message, eh?
Alright, all you doing, eh? Them gal and them go they say, hey, my man had to give me nails money and hair money and thing, you know. Alright.
Realize what I say
Watch
she had to
yourself.
preach this message, not me.
Listen,
I say,
listen. If your man want to give you the nails money and the hair money, girl, all power to you. But I am just saying, if he is doing husbandly things, then all right, you do your wifely things. Me not will you it up, right? But you can't be walking around saying I not doing anything. I not being a wife for a man who ain't wife me up, and then expecting him to be a husband and you and husband him up. I don't understand that.
Ollie, I wish we had a song, but so I could just do like the song, the claps. Woo!
Yeah, hey, take it away.
Yeah, I being honest with Ole, I not to say that I would agree with all the double standards, but I have come to terms with it in my years of living on this earth that it will always have things that men will talk about that women do and that women will talk about that men do and we wouldn't agree with it. Right? But I just going to list off some that I don't agree with and yeah. What I don't agree with, you see, when women say that broke men don't deserve no, right? I ain't gonna finish it.
I
Broke
know
men,
that's right.
right? Okay, you know that's right, right? So let me ask you a question now. If I don't deserve nothing when I broke, right? Then when I get rich and when I have money, I supposed to get until I run out then, until I fed up.
I mean, yeah.
Well, all right then don't ask for no commitment too. That is just what I do agree. That one of them. You understand me? Because if I'm not supposed to get nothing when I broke, right? That means when I have money, right? I'm supposed to get and I'm supposed to get and I'm supposed to get some more without nobody having a problem with it. Right?
Listen,
Because
hold on,
that's the
hold
way
on,
it
eh?
is.
Hold on, just hold on. Let me just
Yeah,
touch on that real quick. You see,
hold on.
you're not peeping the depth of what she's saying. No, Sean did
Mm,
a status post about what a broke man truly is. Okay,
yeah,
it's
what a
not
broke
just
man
about
truly
what
is.
you have in your bank account. It's about your mindset, about money making mindset.
Mm-hmm,
Because I
mm-hmm,
mean, want to hear
Okay,
you. I swear you was
listen.
going to say something.
mm-hmm,
Listen. If he broke, as in he had no
mm-hmm.
money making mindset, he not
Yeah.
getting Okay,
Yeah.
but if he on that
Yeah.
grind,
Yeah.
sure,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you know what? After you said all of that, no woman not going and give him the time of the day to listen to him. They're not going to say, "Hey, big-headed boy, you're broke." Right? Tell me about your business mindset. No woman ain't going and sit down and listen to that. You could go from here that talk. Right? The next thing I don't agree with. Why always when a relationship ends is always the male fault?
I was going and be sarcastic, but I was waiting for somebody else to answer.
Why always when our relationship do work out, right? It's always he wasn't nothing and he didn't do this and he didn't do that and he didn't do that.
So, but men don't take accountability for that either. Cause sure when he talking to his boys, it's not, well, boy, it's I who do this and it's I who do that. As sure is, yeah, well, she didn't do this,
Well,
she didn't do that.
She
girl,
was crazy.
the kind of men I was around, you understand me? Them tell me, hey, here's the scene. If you do nonsense, take up faith, And I still had that same mentality with today. If I do nonsense, I will say, hey, here's the scene, right? I do foolishness and I go own up for my thing.
Well, you see,
You
it means to
understand
be a
me?
man.
Chrissy, stop trying to flatter me, please.
I'm not trying to
Um,
flatter or shade another man.
yeah, you see, you make me forget the third one what I had in mind. Right? Right. This is the last one I'm saying because I want to move on to the last question because I don't know if Jade or Krista have any more questions to ask, right? But why is it that, you know, and again I come to terms with these double standards, right? But why is it when dating a woman, right, it always must lead to marriage?
I
Yeah, you
mean,
understand the question I asked.
that is not true all the time. Most women raised to want to be married,
Okay,
and that
and
is what society pushing on you. Like, you need to be a wife to find your value.
okay, but understand my question, right? Why it is, right? We had to get married on your time.
Because we have a biological clock, you feel we waiting till 45 to marry you and then spit out two children who running them down. It's not all
Yeah,
you.
well, that is the thing. That ain't affecting me. So who say I had to get married to you? I
Now
don't owe
hold
you
on.
nothing, just like you said earlier on.
I'm
I
not
don't
going
owe
to
you nothing.
talk about that comment there. Why date if you don't want to get married?
To have access to sex all the time. That is why it is there.
Who say you're getting sex when you're dating?
Well, alright then, there ain't no purpose dating you. That is a double standard. I just said it. Jada stump you.
No, I was focusing on something else. Wait, where your hands? Why? Because
I
I was,
I just find it funny, right? I just find it funny, right? That it have yes, we all have double standards that we agree with and we don't agree with, right? But why always is that the men does always get pushed towards being married on the female's time? Why it is not like, all right, you sit down and you relax yourself, and when I decide to marry you, I married you.
um, you want to get
You could
really,
have
real,
kids at
real
any
here?
age, you know.
What's
You
that?
could have kids. You could have kids at any age.
Thank
We get
you.
older, and it is easier for y'all to get a girl than when we get old to find a man.
Oh,
Thank you.
really?
Yes.
Yes.
Really?
Yes, it
Yes.
is. Yes, it
Mm.
is.
All
It
right.
is.
Well, I tell you honestly, most men don't know how to talk to women.
Oh, no, understand what we're saying. Whether they
Mm.
know how to talk to women, yes or no. Yeah, whether they know how to talk to women, yes or no. That's not the issue we're talking about here. You ask why, we must get married on her time, whatever. No, I'm not saying that the woman have a right in rushing you. But like we get 100 tonight. If most of these women don't say something like, hey, clocks are ticking, she going on with 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 78 years until you decide to marry her, right? And then let's say she got with you in her mid 20s and you had this woman kind anyhow and you have this woman stretching out waiting 12 years because men don't have a concept of time like that, you know. Men don't have a concept of biological time because as Shan said, you could make children when you was 86 most of the times. We have women are born with a certain amount of eggs. For those of you who don't know biology, women are born with all of the eggs that they will ever have in their entire life. Men, your sperm must be regenerating every how much ever, right? So from the time, and then some women too, they have to think about, all right, they probably have fertility issues, they probably have early menopause in their family generation. They probably going through early menopause, all these different things. So when I there now and I waiting until I 40, 35 and all kind of nonsense to make my first child, right? And you there and you telling me, yeah, baby, not timing and not timing. When I ready, we go do it. When I ready, we go do it. And I watching the clock and I say, but wait, it's 42 mean make my first child yet. Boy, please, eh? And I'm very passionate about this specific one because young ladies, listen to me and listen to me well, right? I am taking my time here to tell you all. Listen, Jade, I'm taking my time here to tell you all. These men, if you do not tell them, hey, this is my expectation from upfront, they are going to lead you on. Tell the people your expectation up front, please. Because
That
we're
is
not in the
exactly what they
business of
wanted to see.
exactly, we're not in the business of waiting 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 86 years. No. Your life is yours too. And if you know that the man have you there sitting on waiting, get yourself up and go, please. It have plenty fish in the sea. Do some introspection, get some self-esteem. All right, I done.
That's what he meant to,
Alright,
eh? Make your
that
thing known up front. If you want a date just to have sex or whatever, all right. Listen, we in a
I agree
society
with that.
now that available. So
I
make it
agree
clear
with
up
that.
front.
I do agree with what you're saying, Krista. I just saying, right? Like, why it had to be on your time? Why it can't be on we time? Which lead me to the last thing that Jade now bring in my mind, when she was rambling on. Happy wife, happy life.
I feel like none of us on this panel agree with that.
Thank you, Krista.
I
I
feel like we
feel
all
like
agree that is happy husband and wife, happy life.
I
Don't
feel like plenty of people that say they
don't
don't
say that
agree
to
with
be
that,
happy.
but in actual living situations, they don't really play out like that, So that is a
Nah,
Thank
bro.
valid
you very much, Wilson.
Nah, bro.
Thank you very
Listen,
much.
listen.
that is a
Gotta
valid
keep the
double
chick. Gotta
standard.
keep the chick. Gotta
All
keep the
right,
But I
chick.
Jade.
wanna I want to support my boy here before we go on, right? I want to support my boy here, Aaron, and say that I think I might be speaking for you here, Aaron, but I think they may have misunderstood what you were saying where double standard is concerned. Because there's the thing, right? For men, and I'm glad Jade say women, make it clear what all your intention is, what are they looking for from the men. Because what Aaron's saying, maybe saying here is society does put pressure on men to to feel like if he have to marry a woman because he dating she. So what if a man not looking for that? And women don't always make it clear that hey, you in a relationship with me
Emerson,
and I expect you to marry me. But sometimes a
Emerson,
man, yeah.
that is exactly what I was saying. And everybody fall in the trap.
Well, I realize it had to be
Everybody
that
fall in the
because
trap what I was saying.
society putting pressure on a man like if once you're in a relationship with a woman, you have to marry this woman and it have a clock ticking over your
You
head, not
dating
she
society?
biological clock. It have a clock ticking over
Exactly.
your head until you marry the
Exactly.
man. Everybody watching you like a nasty man. Because when you go marry the girl? When you go marry the girl? It's 4 years. That's
Yeah.
how society
Yeah.
does treat fellas. Like if you're a stink man because you don't want to, you're waiting on to marry the girl. But you never promised no marriage. You in a relationship and dating. You the girl nobody even take the time to say you want to get married. What about you? You interested in marriage at all? You want children?
True.
But
That
Nobody
is
nobody
want
asked
to,
you
eh?
that.
exactly what I'm
Everybody
saying, Emerson.
assume that because you're in a relationship, You want to marry, you want children, you have to marry this girl. So nobody don't
And
care
that
why
is
you want.
exactly what I am saying,
I know it
innocent.
was that. That's why I say
The
let me rip my
thing
boy a little
about
bit.
it is, the thing about it is, right? I just wait for them to respond to me because you notice was the first thing I said. I said I do not agree with every double standard it have, but as a person who's living on this earth, I have come to terms that it will have certain double standards for everything, right? That we agreed with and that we don't agree with, right? And what I don't agree with, right? Like I tell only plain, is that why is it that it's always the man who always had to get pressure to do something? Why is always
But
that?
women just get pressure for marriage as well, from our mothers and family members. It's like,
Yeah,
when you and
that's
this
true.
boy getting married, when you
Yeah,
and this boy getting married, and
and
then
I
they
Yeah,
get
but don't
understand that.
project that on me.
Exactly what I'm saying,
Who
right?
else is you she with?
Well, let me know what is the scene. Don't play it understood. You wanna let me
Exactly.
know what you
Exactly.
looking for? Because you don't just enter a relationship under the context that once we in a relationship, what you have in your head supposed to be the outcome.
True,
Women
we
just do that
making
all the
sense.
time. You get in a relationship, and what
Exactly.
you feel should happen is what I supposed to know because it's supposed to be built into my DNA. No, 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 no. Men in a relationship and they're looking to get what they want out of it. Same way like you. So you have to make sure everybody understand each other. That is why questions so important in a
okay,
relationship
okay,
instead of jumping in the
yes,
bed or whatever else people just rush and do. But in terms of to answer the question earlier, the commenter, that what's the point of dating if you're not thinking about marriage? I fully agree. Now we're thinking in the Christian context. If you're dating and marriage is not the outcome, it's not the end result, it's not the end goal, you're wasting your time. No point dating at all. In fact, you could make a case that dating is a counterproductive thing for a successful marriage. But I think that might be a show for next time, whether dating is actually better than arranging marriages. I think that'll make for interesting conversation. But because it's about a lot of self involved when you're dating, and we just make room for making a lot of bad choices. Where if you're arranging marriage, you could arrange marriage based on some pre-selected criteria. But anyway, moving on. Yes, I agree. If you're dating and in the Christian context, if you're dating and the end result is not marriage, you're really wasting your time. Because then it have no point. Might as well do it like a secular person and date for whatever reason you want. And like Aaron say, everybody should be within their rights to choose what they want out of the relationship. It shouldn't be
Exactly.
what
Yep.
our woman say or what society say. And usually the
That's
man
all,
does get
that's all I'm saying.
does get only know which end of the stick, right? Oh, and one
And
more thing. One more
yeah,
thing.
go ahead.
When you say earlier, why it is Amanda's always be wrong. I just want to make a little joke here, but this joke might have some real attached to it. Genesis 3:13 said, and the Lord said to the woman, what is this that you have done? The woman said, the serpent deceived me and I ate. So women doing this thing long time. They blaming other people for their mistakes long time. It's not a new thing that is somebody else's fault besides the woman. I just saying, right? All the ladies don't hang.
Right. Well, I go and
probably.
get hung up for this last thing before I ask my last question. Right. Concerning the happy wife, happy life. Right. So right, you reach the point all the pressure we to get married. Right. The pressure we to get married. You understand me? And then boom, now bait and switch reach. We're like, all right, you get in the relationship. You ain't doing nothing that you was doing in the beginning of the relationship to keep the relationship going. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, you didn't doing what you do to get the relationship where you're going. So if you know you used to cook pilau every Sunday, you know you ain't cooking no pilau no Sunday no more, right? He had to eat wherever I feel like cooking for him, bread and cheese that Sunday, and he had to relax himself. You understand what I'm saying? So all what I just asked before is just correlate to this happy wife, happy life thing. You know? If you
And
want
you
to give
see,
somebody a ultimatum to marry there, right? You understand what I'm saying? The ultimatum to marry somebody. If you have to give somebody that, that means they ain't want to be with you in the first place. You understand me?
facts. Yes.
That means they ain't want to be with you in the first place. And that is why I ask the question, how I ask the question. It's because you're setting yourself up for a bait and switch. And let me be real, right? Women is filed for divorce more than men, right? Women is filed for divorce more than men. It has been statistically proven.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying? And then we don't know because I ain't me in divorce. You understand me? I married. You understand? So I would go on a limb and say that half of that is because a bait and switch hit. Somebody, either the male party or the female party do it. It happened and it end the marriage. Right? But that is all I go leave it off and say.
I
Well,
just want to
this
chuck
is
in this
why.
one thing here quick. Is 70% of the times women initiate divorce. It's not just more than men, it's almost is drastically more.
Like three
Well, you
quarter.
see, just to add what Jade said earlier about, all right, all you owe each other in a dating phase is what? Respect, love, and what's the other thing? Time?
Time. Add
Time.
honesty to that one
Oh,
too.
and honesty, right? When both of you come in at the table with that, I think it may less. I don't know. It may lessen the chance of a bait and switch because she not, just doing this just to prove, what, I could be wifey, I could be wifey, I could be wifey. Let me cook for you. Let me you know what? I don't even live with this man. Let me go to his house and iron his clothes and iron his drawers. It I think it would lessen the chance of a bait and switch happening if you guys stick to those things and just say, hey, I like you, I respect you, I love you, here's my time, here's my honesty, and let's move forward.
Yeah, I agree with that. And probably with the bait and switch thing, she probably doing that because that's her starter husband. She ain't planning on spending no lengthy
Jade,
time with you.
Jade, Jade, stop speaking facts this hour of the night, please.
She is planning to spend no lengthy time with you. You just there so that, as I always say, her first name could be turned to Mrs. She might need the little financial support for now. She might need somebody to take care of her child. She might need somebody to, I don't know, a little protection, to prove something to she ex-man. People just be doing all kind of strange things, right? So that bait and switch is because your name is starter husband.
Before I ask my last question, let me put the fellas and them on some game. To the fellas and them who want to get married, right? This is how to know that you might be in for a bait and switch. If you know your partner not comfortable with taking your last name, well, boy, I'm real sorry for you. Anyway, so let me ask my last question.
Ouch.
Just know you're not like that. Tell them get married to their daddy. That is all if they want to keep the last name, marry your father.
Exactly, and that is not the father name, that is the
He mount
father
to marry
grandfather
me.
name.
Yeah, I could marry daddy.
Anyway, my phone locked me out again. Sorry, people. Hold on. Right, my last question is right. Which gender is looked upon more favorably in society? Which gender you think go be easier to give praise to for being outstanding?
I feel like women, I mean, like, okay, hold on, right? Back in the day, men, like, it was a thing that you wanted a boy child, like it was a thing, right? You wanted a son. Now I think women get away with a lot of stuff, and women are praised for sometimes doing the bare minimum. From what I've seen, like, oh, I'm an independent black woman. I take care of myself. I pay my own bills, and then they expect like a big hoopla for that. And we've been living like this for a very long time now. You should be able to take care of yourself. Um, so for those reasons, I don't have any statistics or anything like that. But from that point of view, I would say women.
I would also say women because two of us could be doing the same job, probably getting the same amount of pay, but I probably did one extra thing as the woman, and I get, oh my gosh, you really did that, so congratulations, even though he was in the job longer than me. And he set up most of the things that I came in and was doing on top of what he did because I did that. It's like, oh my God, thank you, congratulations. Men have to work a lot harder to get praised for things than women do for certain things. Yeah.
I almost feeling to give my time to Jade because she look like she chomping at the bit to answer this one, boy. She looking like she can't wait till we have it. So I'll put in my 2 cents there quick and get out of Jade way. I do think that women in current society looked upon much more favorably and is in line with a lot of the things we've been saying throughout the entire night. You know, that society put a lot of effort into empowering women, and in that light, it anti-popular culture to have anything negative to say about women, and societies go through lengths to find new reasons to make women feel good about themselves, even if it's just about things that women just do because they are women. You know, nobody just congratulate a man when he make a when he impregnate a woman, but everybody's make a huge deal when a woman hold a gender reveal party. You know what I mean? It's almost like they want to put you up on a pedestal for figuring out whether it's a boy or a girl. So yeah, it's true. Every basically every single thing a woman does do is a massive feat, and nobody really cares what what we accomplish unless we change the world. I mean, people just barely remember to talk about people like Elon Musk, and then women who say two little thing on social media that uplifting for 15 minutes does be talked about for the whole week.
I don't know. I probably live in a different world than earlier because I know. Okay, I agree. I find women get praised for some of the most basic things, like life skills, them getting praised for, right? However, like we can't deny that the reason why this feminist movement, and yes, there are some lies in the current feminist movement, right? But we can't deny that the reason why this feminist movement even began was because it was very difficult for women to get into certain spaces. Like, um, okay, this is something that I noticed just working in the place that I work in right now, right? So Aaron and I, we work together, and the person who is basically in charge of the place, he would quicker call sir than he would call miss. You understand? Sometimes it would be very ridiculous, as in like, miss, call sir for me day. And then when I go and call sir, is to tell sir something that he could have easily just tell me. You understand? And so, even the case where this man won Woman of the Year because he was transgender. What's his name? Bruce Jenner, right? Bruce go on and win Woman of the Year, and it's Bruce. Bruce was a woman not even for a whole year before he won Woman of the Year. And then on top of that too, it is very difficult for a woman to escalate in the corporate ladder. It more difficult for them to escalate, right, than for a man to escalate the corporate ladder. That's just how things are. So I think when it comes to who praising who, yes, I very much agree that women get praised for some of the most basic and ridiculous things. But I think the praise is probably a 50-50. I don't think it's just well, women get it more and women get it more. I don't think that. It's probably according to what you're looking at or what you're thinking about in that area of praise.
Yeah, let Aaron go. Sorry, I forgot you had to answer.
Um, as far as I can remember, Jade, I think it was more women praising Bruce Jenner for doing what he do than men do it, because I think most men do deal with them thing.
No, well, I know a lot of people was upset because of that, women included. You understand? Real
Non-feminist women,
people.
Jade. Non-feminist women.
Well, true, non-feminists. Well,
Um,
we non-feminists in the minority, so
y- yeah, so I think that women are praised more, right? And I will go even a little bit further. Even certain things, right? It easier people, not men, people in general will easier trust a woman to do the simplest things first, right? For example, if me and a woman go and apply for the same job, right? She will get choose over me simply because how she look in her short skirt, right? You understand what I say? A woman
Mm-hmm.
go get trusted, and I'm saying this with
With
a hint
things.
also. If you see a man walking late in the night and a woman walking late in the night and both of them could rob you the same way, they go watch a woman like she can't do them nothing, right? From the time somebody see me coming through the darkness, I mean, I ain't had the most pleasant face in the world because I mean I have resting
Resting.
face. You understand me? So let me take that out of the equation there one time. But if if all right, let me use Emerson. If from the time somebody sees somebody like Emerson walking through the darkness, right? Emerson do even have to have on a grimy face. People done on edge already with Emerson just walking alone. You understand me?
Him go Fred.
What's that? Ramnation?
If it's accent coming through, nah, I mean Fred.
Alright, cool. Emerson ain't gonna deal with that. Right? Right. As opposed to if Sean come into the darkness. Now Sean could be walking with a big AR-15 wrong she neck. You understand me? They go watch you and they go, boy, look at that slim thing coming there. She coming to machine everything, you know. You understand me? But the ball and watch that slim thing they coming there. You understand? So yeah, I kind of find it ridiculous sometimes that the oh god, I kind of find it ridiculous sometimes how like they just want to praise women like if there's little children sometimes. You understand me? Because it does seem like it's not real. You dig? Like Krista said something earlier on, like, oh, we doing this. You understand? We paying we own bills and all kind of thing. Men been doing that for years. You ain't doing nothing special. So why you getting praised for it? You understand me? It's kind of like you're praising a little child. It seems fake. If you look at it in a different perspective now. But that is just me. Anybody else have anything to
I
add?
just wanted to add this, right? My whole issue kind of with it, I understand that, we fought for the rights, yes. But we've had these rights for a little bit, for a while now. And the whole thing about the feminist movement, at least initially, was about gaining equality, right? So why not equal praise? Why not, why not equal celebration of, okay, all of us are taking care of ourselves, all of us are independent, blah, 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 right? That's all I just wanted to say. That's my issue. One of my issues with the feminist movement and whole praise thing. If anyone has nothing left to say,
One little thing. That point that I make about Bruce Jenner earlier, Jade, that was like I agree, Aaron, that counterproductive for your point, because he win the award as a woman. When a transgender man win the award and get man of the year, then we could have that conversation. But he win the award because he became a woman. So they was like, oh, that's so brave that she's a woman now. Exactly. That. Let me be real. It's because he became a woman. Just for becoming a woman, the man win woman of the year. That is to show how ridiculous it is. Just for being
Before
a
you,
woman. And I agree with Aaron too. I never thought of that before, and I'm glad you bring that subject to the forefront. That is seem it disrespectful to woman. The excessive praise is almost like they're forcing it. You know, like let's praise. Let's just go out our way to praise women for every little thing. I remember on a Chris Rock special once he say, "It's a man out there who's be saying, not me, not me. I take care of my kids. I take care of my kids." And Chris Rock was like, "You're supposed to take care of your kids. What you want, a cookie?" I don't understand. So, it's the same thing. So I agree with Aaron. I feel like they're forcing it, and I don't like that at all. It's disrespectful to women.
all right, so I believe that brings us to the end of our show. To all our viewers, I thank you all for engaging with us in this lively conversation. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for commenting. Yeah, guys. With that, peace out, A Town. We love you. All right. Thank you for
Liking, commenting,
liking, commenting, and
subscribing,
subscribing. Thank you for putting the
following
banner up.
us on Instagram, finding us on Facebook and following us on Facebook.
Thank you, Jube.
And yeah,
That's
that's
it,
it.
y'all. Bye, everybody.